Good morning, class. We're doing sociology. Book's name is Introducing Sociology. I have explained you the first chapter and the second chapter. First chapter's explanation, second chapter's explanation is done, but the question answers till now I have not discussed. So I'll be discussing the question answers of the first chapter also. Means I'll take up all the NCERT questions which are given at the back, which will come in your unit test and all, so that you know clearly what will be the answers. So with the help of PPT only, so that it's clear whatever I'm saying you'll be able to see on the screen also. So the first chapter question answer, second chapter question answer still have to be covered, so don't worry, I'll be doing that. And second chapter explanation also over. Now the important terms we'll discuss today. Only the important terms will be discussing today. Then the question answers in the coming videos. So let's start the important terms of the second chapter. Let me just make this smaller. Okay, now social group we have done in detail. Again we are doing this kind of revision also, and terms we've already discussed, we'll discuss it again. That's what we are doing, and question answers we'll do later. So social group, it's a number of individuals defined by formal or informal criteria of membership who share a feeling of unity or are bound together in relatively stable pattern of interaction are called social groups. So social groups can be formal, can be informal. As we've discussed in the chapter, while explanation of the chapter, they can be primary, secondary, where there is a sense of unity, sense of belongingness, where there is continuous interaction between the group members, that forms a social group. Now remember one thing, as we've already discussed social group and its types, and here we are discussing again. So the language, it may differ. You don't have to cram up words and all. You don't have to write exactly what I've explained to you or what has been told to you. You can write always in your own language in sociology. Okay, so don't worry about the wordings being different. Clear? Next is social work. Social work is a generic term applied to the various organized methods for promoting human welfare through the prevention and relief of suffering. Social work, see, when you hear the word social work, we all know social work means some work which we are doing voluntarily for the benefit of society, for human welfare. That is social work. If you write in simple language also and the meaning is correct, it will be considered correct. So you don't worry about the language being very difficult, or for you not, means if you're not able to learn the exact words and all, you can write in your own words. Clear? Next term is social fact. Social fact is ways of our thinking, feeling and acting that are experienced by individuals. So individuals, when they think, they feel, that is social fact. It can be external constraining that are general throughout a social group. So a social group can have different individuals thinking in their different ways. They what they feel, that is called social fact. Next term is social control. This is the last topic which we covered. So here again, social control refers to the social processes by which behaviors of individual is regulated. Regulated means controlled. Like I told you, individual is not free in society. He is controlled by his family, he is controlled by law, by police, by other relatives, friends. So we are not free in our society. We are controlled. That is social control. So it's a process. Social control is a social process by which behaviors of individual is regulated or controlled. Next term is social role. Social role means the role which we are playing. I am playing a role of a teacher, you are playing a role of a student. So and with our role we have certain responsibilities and duties to perform. So social role here is, see here, social role is social expectations attached to a particular social position and analyzes the working of such expectations. So we all occupy a position in society, we have a status in society, and according to that we have to play our roles. I'm a teacher, you're a student, so we are playing the role of a teacher because I'm a teacher. Means I'm playing a role of a teacher because I hold the position of a teacher. Clear? So social role is the behavioral aspect of social status or social position. Next term is socialization. Socialization, it's a process again. It's a process by which we learn to become members of society by internalizing the norms and values of society, also by learning to perform our social roles. Socialization, simply just understand, it's a process by which we learn how to behave in a society, how to live in a society. Example, let me explain you again with an example. When a child is born, he does not know what is right, what is wrong, but when he is born, uh, as the time passes, he looks around, he observes, he sees how people are staying around him, so accordingly he becomes, okay, his values are imbibed accordingly. So that is so that's why we can say, so by socialization he learns to live in this world or in this society into which he is born. Clear? Socialization. Next is social problems. Social problems again, simple from the word also. You can write problems of society. If you just look at the word, you can write like that. So social problems, a generic term applied to the range of conditions and aberrant behavior. Aberrant means not correct, not normal, which are held to be manifestations of social organization. And to warrant changing, we mean social engineering. So social problems means when people in the society are not doing all things correct, that leads to social problem, or they are not doing things which are expected out of them, so that leads to social problems. You can write this also in simple easy words of your own. You can write in the exam, or you can answer when I ask you. Next term is ritual. We've heard this many times in our day to day life. So ritual means, look here, how will you define it? A repeated pattern of behavior. So ritual means a repeated pattern of behavior which is performed at appropriate time. Like we have different rituals according to our caste, according to our religion, our rituals differ. And suppose someone dies in the family, in a Hindu family, so same rituals are performed, so same action is done. So ritual is something which is repeated pattern, just this much, and it differs from society to society, from family to family, from religion to religion. Next is social status. Social status means it refers to the position that a person occupies. So just remember, status means position which a person is occupying in the social structure or in the society. It may be ascribed or achieved. We can ascribe means it can be ascribed means it is by birth, or it can be achieved. By birth means like, I'm a woman, so I have got this status of being a woman by birth, so it is ascribed to me, and I have become a teacher, so that is achieved. So social status is ascribed also and achieved also. Next term is natal. Natal means relates to the place or time of one's birth. If like you were born in Rajkot, so your natal is Rajkot, so birthplace is Rajkot. Understood? Relates to the time or birth or place of birth. Norms will come again and again in sociology, so just again understand what is norm. Norm means rules of behavior. In society, we are not free to do anything which we like. We cannot just, there is the time to get up, time to sleep, time to say, way of sitting, way of talking to each other. So there are certain rules which we have to follow in society. That is called norms. I'll read out from here. Rules of behavior which reflects or embody a culture's value, either prescribing a given type of behavior or forbidding it. So norms differ from society to society. Norms are backed by sanctions, one kind or another, varying from informal disapproval to physical punishment. Norms, we follow norms because of sanctions. Sanctions, I'll explain you. Wait. Sanction is another important term of the second chapter. So sanction is a mode of reward or punishment. Now understand this with an example. Suppose you are a student in your family, all the other cousins of yours are toppers, they get good marks and all. So if they pass with flying colors, they get excellent marks, so they are given some reward by the elders of your family. So that is a sanction. Sanction means a reward or a punishment. And on the other hand, if someone fails in your family, so that person will be punished in a certain way. So that is again a sanction. Clear? Next is identity. Identity means distinctive characteristic of a person's character, of the character of the group, which relate to who they are and what is meaningful to them. Some of the main sources of identity include gender, nationality, ethnicity, social class. So simply just listen to me. Identity means if I'm living in a society, what's my identity? I'm a female, my name is this, I belong to certain caste, I come from certain family, from a certain background. So all this is giving identity to me. So that's my identity. So your identity will be your gender, your nationality, your region you're coming from. So identity means we get our identity from our caste, from our gender, from our ethnicity, from our class, from our religion. That is identity. So the identity, if you want to have to write down, you have to write it's a characteristic of a person's character. Clear? This much you remember. Certain words you try and remember, rest you can write from on your own. Next term is means of production. Means of production. So the means of production of material goods is carried out in society, including not just technology but the social relations between producers. uh, so means of production is like example, again I'll explain. Means of production is like, suppose I belong to the high class of the society. High class, that means high economic class of the society. So the high class people in society mostly own all the means of production. Means of production are requirements or things which we require in our daily life, or which we require to fulfill our needs. So means of production can be technology, raw material, capital, that is money. That is all means of production. Clear? Next, if you don't understand, you can ask me in the interactive class. You can WhatsApp me also separately. You don't have to be hesitant about that. If you don't understand, it's all right. No problem. I'll not scold you. Okay, so please try and learn. If you can't, contact me. Next is conflict theories. Conflict theories means Karl Marx. Remember this word. Conflict theory. Whenever conflict theory comes, remember Karl Marx. Now, Karl Marx said that in a society there are two classes. Two classes means one is an working class, other is the ruling class. So the ruling class always has all the means of production. Means of production, I just explained you. Means of production means they have the capital, that is money. They have the raw material. They have access to whatever they want in life. That is the ruling class. Other is the working class. Working class are the lower strata of the uh, economic uh, economic layer. If you see economic stratification, so working class are low class people. They don't have access to means of production. So there is always a conflict between the working class and the ruling class. Conflict means they are always in disharmony with each other. They're not in harmony. Why? Because why they fighting, or why they quarreling amongst themselves, the working and the ruling class? Because the same thing is what same thing wants the same require they have the same requirement, and the resources are scarce. Scarce means less. Again, let me give you an example. Like, suppose I want 10 kgs of mango. You also want 10 kgs of mango. Now I belong to ruling class and you belong to working class. Now I have all the money, I have all the access to the latest technology. So, and you have less money, your facilities in life are limited. So for that 10 kg of mango, who will be more Who will be able to get that 10 kg of mango? I'll be able to get, because I belong to the ruling class. I have an upper hand over you. You will not be able to get it. So there'll be a conflict. You will also not give things easily to me. You'll fight against me. So there's a conflict between the classes of society. That is conflict theory. It is given by Karl Marx. Let me read from here. A sociological perspective. Conflict theory is a sociological perspective that focuses on tension, division, competing interests present in human society. So it refers to tension, division, competing interest in human society. Conflict theorists believe that scarcity and value of resources in society produces conflicts as groups struggle to gain access to and control these resources. So in our society, we have limited resources. Resources is whatever is useful to us. Resource meaning is whatever is useful to us. So resources are limited. All the people in the society want the same thing. So that is why there's a conflict between them. Many conflict theorists have been strongly influenced by the writings of Karl Marx. He has supported this conflict theory. Now we have functionalism. This is opposite of conflict theory. In conflict theory, we say that there's a lot of conflict. In functionalist theory, we say that society does not have conflicts. It is harmonious. Why? Because there is division of labor in society and people are performing their own functions. So they don't have to fight with each other, or they don't have to be in conflict with each other. Conflict theory was given by Karl Marx. Functionalist theory has been given by Emile Durkheim. Emile Durkheim I have not given you here, but in the coming videos, when I give you the notes and all this will be there. So it will be right in front of you to learn properly and to understand better. So again, let me read from here. Functionalism, a theoretical perspective based on the notion that social events can best be explained in terms of the function they perform. That is the contribution they make to the continuity of society or the harmony of society, on a view of society as a complex system whose various parts work in relationship to each other in way that needs to be understood. Simple language, just understand. Functionalism means there is harmony in society. Every organ, every individual of society is performing their own function. As there is division of labor, work has been divided. So there is harmony in society. There is no conflict. This is supported by Emile Durkheim. Next term, micro and macro sociology. Micro sociology is study of situations of face-to-face interaction. That is micro sociology. Micro means when we are studying at a low level of individuals or small groups, that is micro. Macro concerns with large scale social systems. When we are studying about political system, economic order, that comes under macro sociology. Clear? So this I'll be sharing soon in the group. The written matter will be in front of you. So these terms are enough for today. We'll continue like in the next class. I'll discuss the question answers of this chapter only. The NCERT questions are given at the back. After that, we'll be discussing the question answers of the first chapter again. Clear? And again, I'm saying if you don't understand anything, it is perfectly alright. I can explain you again. But you please contact me and stay connected. Thank you.